YouTube, what's happening? Today we're going to attempt to do some assembly on this 125, and that's going to start with taking care of this triple clamp, which is an absolute mess. And my goal with this 125 is to have it hopefully done and running by the last week of February, and today is February 1st, so it's not looking good, and we've got to get this turd back together. 426 had some transmission problems, but I'm going to start ripping this thing down here. There it is. Okay, a couple things have occurred since I last picked up the camera. As you can tell, they've been sandblasted, they've been washed, finished grinding that casting line off, did some belt sanding, so they're looking good. Taped up the stem so I don't get Cerakote on the bearing surface. So we're pretty much ready to go. Put this thing back together and took it apart again because it's got valve train problems, but it's fixed now. And then did the forks, doing the forks on this thing. Too much work, no choice. But I'm gonna get these things painted up real quick. I'll get them rigged up and then we'll paint. All right, we got them done. Didn't go quite as planned, but ended up needing more Cerakote than I thought. Let these things bake in the oven for 2 hours at 250, but thought I could get away with 30 mils Cerakote, needed about 50, and then the stuff was going hard in my spray gun, so it wasn't ideal, but we got it done. All right, here is how they look. I think they came out really good. All things considered, should look like a brand new YZ125. You can see right here, you might not be able to tell, but I ran the shit out of the paint right there. Good thing it baked on. I was just getting pissed off at the spray gun because it was getting all messed up. Should spend more than $10 on a spray gun, but that's what we've got. Anyway, I think next up, we're gonna press on the bearing and start getting some things on the frame. Alright guys, we are back at the No Audio National. Hate to see it, but that's what happens when we record enough. Eventually things aren't going to work out, but we're here digging out this frame. It's been sitting on this shelf for 6 months or something crazy, just collecting dust. So we're digging it out right now, and we are going to throw some bearings in it. Now this was the bearing installing setup. Didn't end up working out too well. Just couldn't get a hard enough hit on it. The tool worked, my race driver, but on that stand didn't really work. Had to take it outside, get a second set of hands on a stump and really get some force into those things, but we ended up getting them in. And now I'm showing you, we got those races in. As you can see, it's set into that frame a little bit and fully bottomed out. You'll know when you hit it and the sound changes and it looks like it's in, then you're in. And we are gonna throw on the triple clamp now. Got that bearing on, got it packed, and we're ready to toss this thing in. So I put that top bearing in. Usually makes it a little easier, one less thing to deal with. All you got to do is fish the bottom triple clamp and shaft in and up through that bearing. You might have to press on it a little bit, but makes a little less of a mess than trying to grab a nice packed bearing and throw it in there. And then we got a washer, and we've got our preload adjustment nut. And I think we are now back to the non-voiceover part of the video, for now. Apparently my microphone was on mute. Who would know? Fuck, this is gonna kill me one day. Fuck you. Got that rolling torque pretty good on the lower. Nice and tight how I like it. It'll break in. I'll probably have to mess with it again. We're gonna get this upper triple clamp just kind of on and throw some forks in. Cinch down these bottom bolts. And we're going for the right side. Okay, that's gonna do it. I better get this front tire on before this thing shits itself. See, I told you this thing has a mind of its own. It's wandering off. And if you didn't catch the wheel video, I'll link it on screen right now. Go check it out. Just finished this thing up this morning, so it's nice and fresh. It's always hard to pull this off with a floating chassis. I'm gonna tighten up this axle here. I'm not sure, it might have to come off again to do the fork guards, but that is going to be in a couple weeks if I'm lucky. So I'm gonna get it in here, tighten up the axle, spin both sides. That's how you know you get it perfectly true in the forks. And then we're gonna hold the one side, crank the other side a little bit. Doesn't need too much. Good to go. I'll tighten the pinch bolts too. I don't know if I mentioned it, but the MX bolt kit didn't have enough bolts for the triple clamps. So I had to steal the nice ones from down here and I put the Cerakoted ones down here. And it looks cool. It's unfortunate that I didn't have enough bolts to have them all new and shiny, but it is what it is. I ordered the wrong kit, so we're making do. I'm gonna torque the lower triple clamps because I don't think they're coming off. The upper one, I haven't torqued down the nut at the top yet, so I'll wait till I get more of the bike together because it's gonna crash if I try and tighten that thing. It's like 110 foot-pounds or something if I remember. These are 14 foot-pounds. Alright, that's good. Now I think our next step here, as you can probably tell by where the camera's at, is going to be the heart, little heart transplant. And now I'm going to go for motor mounts. It's pretty incredible how good condition this stuff's in. Look at this bolt. Usually these things are white with corrosion. This one's got a little bit of corrosion, as you can see, but still not bad. So there's nothing wrong with that. We'll be running it, and I'm going to put a little bit of grease on it. And assuming that this has the same motor mount positions as my dad's Yamaha, bolts come in from the left side. Like that. And unfortunately I can't get these things tight until I get the rest of the motor mounts ready. Obviously the swing arm is nowhere near ready. That's going to take its own video. And the upper motor mount needs to get anodized. I think that's what I'm going to do to it. So that will also be a separate video. I'll just loosely start those things. And I think we can get some wiring going. Alright, our next step here is this wiring harness. Look at how cute this thing is. It's tiny. And we're getting rid of this kill switch because I got a fresh one. So I'm going to make this thing even smaller. I went through, I retaped this little section right here from like the main harness to the CDI box. Clean that up a little bit so it's looking good. We're going to pop this thing right on. Gonna go on like that. And then we got a tab on the bottom. And then the coil. Forget exactly how all this stuff looks. Hopefully I have pictures. I probably don't. I think it's gonna be something like that. Okay, I had one picture. So the coil wire is running through the frame. And it was coming out on top. So it's gonna come around down here. And it's gonna sit something like that. Kind of pop that on. I need to find some bolts for that. And I think you're going to want to put this ground on one of those bolts. Can't forget that, or you'll have a lot of problems. Alright, I rounded up some new bolts. Not that you see this, but when you pull the tank off, you'll see it. And I like to see pretty things when I pull the tank off. Tight. Alright, so here's what we're working with here. Got that ground wire on that bolt right there. That's how the coil sits. And I'm going to grab the stator wire and run it up here. Probably right up like that. There's probably supposed to be a zip tie to the frame down here. And then I'm going to take the plug. Okay, that's plugged in. And then this stuff is going to kind of just tuck in right here. I'll do some zip tie magic as always. Kill switch wire will kind of turn around right there. And I do have a new Tusk kill switch. They're not the best, but they're cheap and they kind of work. So that's what we've got. Click. I think I'm going to run it down here. Kind of through, and then there's like cable holder on the other side. That's where it'll stay. Alright, I'm going to slide this Kickstarter back on. I have no clue what happened to the bolt. So it'll turn up, but I want to pop that on, and I want to pop the spark plug out. Pop it into the boot, and see if we have any lightning. Oh yeah. Cool, we got lightning. So that'll ignite some air and fuel. I'll probably just leave this spark plug loose, give it a little shot of carb spray before I fire it up. So it fires up first kick and it looks like I'm cool. But this thing's starting to come together. It's starting to look like a bike now. Got that front end back together. Got the motor in. I'll see if I can find anything else to do. Okay, I figured out something I can do. That is the rear shock. Shocking, I know. And there's some rubber pieces that I can toss on. We got one right here. We've got one right here. It is directional. There's an arrow pointing forwards. And then we've got this little rubber thing here. Sticks to the frame. These things are getting rare. I think they might have been back ordered when I got them. Push it on pretty good. They're pretty sticky. They should stay. I'll toss the other side on. Alright, so I installed the blow-by hose for the power valve. Got it routed, not as close to stock as I could. A couple zip ties on that and the stator wire. About as close to stock as I could figure. And the ends of the zip ties are tucked back in there. It looks pretty dang stock. So that's good. I think next I'm gonna do some work on these bars. These things got absolutely cooked out in the sun. Originally they were black Pro Tapers, and they're not anymore, so I'm gonna throw them in the vapor blaster, see if I can't make them look a little better. I'd love to get new ones, but that's not in the budget build. Alright, I got these bars kind of tuned up here, about as much as I felt like doing. I took that crossbar off, sandblasted it, vapor blasted it, put it back on. I was thinking about running with it off, but then I was thinking this is a 7/8 bar. It's probably not stiff enough without it. I do like the bars without the crossbar better, but we're talking about the big bars, the 1.125". So figured probably be better with the crossbar. This is far from an ideal setup. It's a shame that Yamaha didn't have some better mounts here that you could swap out easier, because if I get like risers or something to switch to the big bar, then that kind of changes the geometry. Right now the bars are higher from the triple clamp, which may or may not be a bad thing, but I figured we'll just keep the geometry right, and hopefully it works out. If I need to do adjustments in the future, I can always do that. I've got some big bars around here to try out if we get to that point. That's why I didn't spend a super large amount of time getting these things vapor blasted up. And it's a shame that that Bolt MX bolt kit that I got didn't include all the right stuff, because I'm having to reuse some crappy bolts. And so as you can see, right, I think I got them set kind of where I want for baseline. I usually set my bars, set like a straight edge on it, and then kind of look straight on from the front, get it pretty close to level. Usually the ends will stick up a little higher, but somewhere around there. If I don't, then I start getting some gnarly hand problems on the outside of my hand. So that's where I'm gonna set them, and we'll adjust once I get the rest of the bike together. And we're gonna finish off here by sliding this kill switch on. Alright, that's probably gonna do it for this video. Kind of got this thing going back together here, looking good. So anyway, in the next video, we're gonna keep rolling with assembly, or I don't know, I might be doing the swing arm. We'll find out. I got a bunch of stuff to do in a short period of time, so we will see you then.